Hello, welcome back to the next crafting tab tier list thingy. Let's just cut the rubbish. Let's just cut the chit chat and just get on with it. Let's just start. So the campfire, I'm actually gonna put this one in A tier. It's really good, and you're probably gonna be using this early, mid, and even late game. We need to stop and like cook something, or you just want to plop it down. Just to use stuff when you don't want to use your, you'll probably just be using your lantern for that, but even in like the late game you'll need it if you just really quickly need to like cook something up or something. It's still just really good even to have, even in late game. So yeah, just good. Fire pit, now this is a freaking S tier item. You put it in like your base, it lights it up, it works really well. As just, it does what it does well. It lights up your base at night. Just sacrifice a couple of logs, maybe some charcoal, maybe some beefalo wool, my personal favorite choice, and boom, you got light around your base. It's really good. It's a permanent light source, and that's what I like about it. Now the torch I'm gonna put above the fire pit. It's again really good, but this time it's a portable light source, which means it's really good. You can light stuff on fire with it, which is really useful in winter. To give yourself heat, you just light a tree on fire, you just stand next to it with your thermal stone and it heats everything up. It's good. It works really well at what it does. Next up we have the endothermic fire thing. This is a freaking C tier in my opinion. The standard endothermic fire ain't really that good. Because at least with the regular fire, for that, you're probably, whenever you're just walking around normally during like winter or just something, you're probably gonna have a couple logs and grass on you. Pretty much almost all the time. Since when do you just carry around niter with you like a lot? You pretty much don't. It's pretty much just logs, grass. I basically barely, actually I've probably never seen anyone aside from the early game walking around just with niter in their inventory so freaking casually. It's just like, it's never niter, it's always something else. Like seriously, even during summer I just basically don't see people just plopping these around to get a really quick just cool down. Next up we have the endothermic fire pit. I'm putting this one in A tier because again it does what it does well, but this time you're only really going to be using it during one season, being summer, because that's the only time where you desperately need to cool down. Every other season you're pretty much just okay with the standard fire pit, and because of its pretty much identical use except just for being one season, I'd say it gets put in A tier. Now we have the miner hat. I'm going to put this one in B tier because it does what it does well, but is very outclassed by other things, considering it takes up your head slot. And whilst you could use body armor, considering head armor is just more effective, and when you could just use your body armor slot for like backpacks and piggybacks and Krampus sacks, just leaving yourself just open for an attack is generally just yikes. It's not like the fact that you're just left open for an attack. It's just the fact that it's that plus the fact that you can only see in the area around you. So it makes you just way more open for a surprise attack. However, there is another item coming up on this list that is pretty much the miner's hat, but better in a million ways. It is actually an A tier, but we'll get there when we get there. Next up we have the lantern. This is freaking amazing. It is so good. You can hold it in your hand, you can pop it on the ground. It takes light bulbs, which are stupid easy to get in the caves. They're pretty much always just around the spawn area in the caves and together, which means you can just pop down there, grab like as many as you need, and then just go back to the surface with them, or just use them in the caves. Seriously, they're super good, refuel super easily, the crafting recipe is cheap, and it's permanent. It doesn't just disappear if you use it all up. It is really good. Next up we have the Moggles. Now do you remember how I said there was basically just a better miner's hat? Well, this is that. It's better because it allows you to pretty much see the entire screen, which means that if there are mobs nearby and you're using your head slot, you won't have to worry about just a surprise attack. You can see that mob coming a mile away and then just swap things out as you need. And because of that, it is super well. The only issue I have with it is that it needs like glow berries to basically just refuel it. But generally, assuming you're good at kiting and you find the biome where you can find depth swarms, you can refuel it pretty easily actually. Next up we have this pumpkin thingy. I mean, it works. And the only time I ever find myself using this is during Hollowed Nights because they spawn around the Florid Postern, and generally I only use them as like a joke. And they also spawn in pig villages, I think. Actually, no, I think they might spawn in pig villages. I don't remember quite exactly. But I do know that they spawn around the Florid Postern, and generally you can like pick one up and then just use it as just a light source just when you pop it down. And I mean, it works well as that, but I mean, it's just light, and that's pretty much all it is. Doesn't really do anything that remarkable. Next up we have the mushroom light thingies. We have this one right here, which I'm gonna put this one in A tier because I don't remember what this one is called. All I know is that it's pretty much the same as the next mush light that's coming up, but stuff just doesn't last as long as it in it, I believe. So there's pretty much no reason to use this one. The other one also just takes more stuff. That's pretty much all I have to say on it. Now to the next one. The next one is an easy, actually no, I'm gonna put that right there. Is an easy S tier. You get it, and you can easily just put stuff in it, put lights in it. If you're brave enough to kill the Celestial Champion, you can take one of the shards from the crown you get, deconstruct it into the crystals, put them in there for maximum infinite light. It's really good and might be one of the only times I'd say it's worth it killing Toadstool, I believe you get it from. I mean, like I'd ever kill Toadstool. And then next up we have, for the final item, we have Willow's Lighter. I'm gonna put this at the bottom of A tier, considering it works well at the beginning, and can even work decently in the mid to late game, considering you can like cook on it. But it, unlike in Don't Starve single player and Don't Starve the Other, it actually has durability. I mean, yeah, you can craft more, but generally just the only redeeming thing I'd say about this is that you can cook on it, and it actually does last quite a while. No, I'm actually gonna put this in at the top of B tier, actually. Seriously though, it works well in the beginning to mid game, maybe sometime in late game, but generally just I don't find myself needing to cook something 24/7 when I'm just walking around. Generally, I already have the thing that I need cooked. And that's pretty much it for this list. This video was remarkably shorter than I wanted it to be. But anyways, I will see you all in the next video or tier list. Goodbye.